All right, we'll get the meeting started here. Review and approve July 22nd, 2025 minutes.
We approve the, minutes from the last meeting.
Seconded.
All in favor? And review and approve August 5th, 2025 warrant.
We approve the warrants.
Second.
All in favor? Look at that. Well, certification of all the comprehensive.
I move that we certify the comprehensive plan presented to us by Matt Fricker. Email, the one to be put in front of the board for the, town meeting. And provide that, a copy of it to the town clerk.
Okay?
So certifying means we just move the process along.
Yep.
We need
Yep.
Okay. Yeah.
There's no statute that I can find that talks specifically about the comprehensive plan, but for ordinances, we're supposed to certify one copy to the municipal clerk.
Okay. All right, I'll second it.
Yep.
All in favor? All right. Authorization for CEO Don Kennett to consult with the town attorney for legal matters. We got two issues going on. We're going to send information to David Laurie about Bennett situation. All in there. So, do I hear a motion to,
Are we going to request that he pursue legal action?
yes. Yeah. Yeah, that's, whatever David recommends, we'll do it.
All right.
And how about the other issue with Frosty Road, are you recommending that too, based on his recommendation?
We'll vote on that separate.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right. I move that we, allow Don Kent to consult the town attorney on the, burnout parties issue with the intent of seeking legal action to enforce town ordinances.
Second.
Favor? All right.
Thank you very much, I'll take care of it.
And also the, Frost Hebrow situation with the building permits, the extra building permits up there. Consult with, David Laurie on how we're gonna be handling that. So I hear a motion.
Now, is this, is he gonna, like, look at our land use, I guess, and make a determination from that, do you think, or is it just,
I think, yeah,
we're just looking for his opinion on it, basically,
Don?
of where it could go?
Well, the land use ordinance says you can't have more than two on a private road,
Mm-hmm.
and there are now four. And they have another permit, and he's gonna build a big garage up there as well as his house.
Does it fall under the definition of a private road?
Yes, as near as we can tell. And I wanted to clarify that with David, and
Okay.
sort of see what he recommends we do about it.
I mean, just out of curiosity, I've heard, you know, whatever's been in the public forum about this, but, like, obviously, somebody owns that road and everybody has a private, right of way over it. Am I correct assuming that?
Way back in the 1700s, I believe it was a town road, and the town abandoned it and discontinued it. But what happened was all the property owners along it maintained a right of way, so they have a legal right of access there. But the issue that a couple of the neighbors have complained about is it's too narrow to get ambulances and fire trucks, and it's in violation of the ordinance.
Because of the two on a private road.
For that, and the reason that's in the ordinance is you don't wanna have people, you have to back up, I had to back all the way down the road myself, Quaker Road.
I mean, you can look at the Merch Road in North Bolton too, you can't get by a fire truck on that road, and that's a town-owned road, so.
Right.
I don't know much,
Well, their argument is being it's not a town road, it's a private way.
right,
And the ordinance spells out that you can't build on a private way beyond the 2 houses.
so whoever gets the first two gets the way and everybody else is land useless, basically?
Well, they can use it as a right of way, but they can't build a house up there. The way to do that is to go into the planning board, and they would give guidance in terms of what would have to happen to the road in order to build more houses on there. That's not something I can do, but I'm not able to revoke a permit either. And there are folks that are saying maybe they need to go to court to hand over this road. Be nice if we could settle it in a different way than that.
Okay,
But that one's supposed to just get his opinion or recommendation. And I would report that back to you as soon as I have an answer, and you folks can decide which one you want.
Jack Valentine to find out, I move that we, have Don Kent talk to David about that and get his legal opinion on legality of it, I suppose.
Second motion.
All in favor? Alright, the authority, Don?
Thank you very much, I think I will take that up with him, and I'll report back to you as soon as I have an answer.
Okay. This is, reminders, nothing this week. Town office closed next Wednesday.
It's not closed for the entire day, it's just for that
Oh.
time frame.
Oh, 11 to 1, okay, 7:30 to 1, okay. Yeah, you got anything?
I don't, thank you for asking.
You folks,
Yeah, I'm here, I own 24 Bridgeton Road.
okay, alright, yeah,
And mainly wanted to just come and explain what the process has been with us getting a writ of possession to be able to take ownership back, to be able to clean it up. As a landlord, as soon as you rent it to somebody and you have a lease with them, they own the land, not you, until the court tells you that you have it back or they're cease and desist.
wow.
Okay, so I'm coming just to let you know that, you know, we pay in our taxes, we pay to the Cumberland County Sheriff's Department. It's taken roughly 14 days to get a writ of possession. So we went to court on July 16th, and then you have to wait 7 days to get the writ, because we won in court for the eviction. At which point, at the end of that 7 days, you go into the civil service in Portland, and you pay them $115, and they've got to come out and serve the writ on the tenant. If the tenant's not there, they've got to come back 3 separate times. Their first attempt was 7 days after we paid them, okay? So if any of you have seen the lovely Facebook pictures of the, okay, and those showed up after the fire, when we don't have possession of it, so it's, we don't even know if it's the tenant that did those things. The picture showed up because that was the first day the sheriff showed up, and the sheriff opened the door to the shed and took a picture and gave it to a neighbor. So our sheriff's department was nice enough to do that, go into somebody else's property. He said he used his foot to open the door, and then took pictures. and then provided them to a neighbor of somebody else's possessions. If you look very closely at those possessions, they seem very much like drug paraphernalia. But if you take another look at it, you'll see that most of those needles are brand new, and even the ones that are open have safeties on the plungers. They do not look like they've been used. There's a spoon there that somebody put there, and there's no burn mark on the spoon. I've been asked if I would sell this property to somebody, and now I'm questioning whether that came from that person or not, and that it was to make a big scene here in town. I know that, I'm sure you guys, Corey's been there for almost 10 years, and I know he's had his problems, but what I can tell you is he's never been a problem to me as a landlord, so it makes it very hard for me to know what's going on. He's always paid his rent. Neighbors have all asked me whether, oh, it's good that he's gone, it's a person authorized Section 8. He's not a Section 8 person. He worked. He may have been a problem person and has his issues, but he always worked in construction and always paid his rent on time.
Yeah.
And he was not on Section 8. My concerns to you guys to know is that the comment from the civil service sheriff was that he lives in Cape Elizabeth, and it's a 3-hour trip, an hour and a half out here and an hour and a half back. So until he basically had something else going on out here, we could wait. Okay, so the court issues us the rights so that I could go in there and start cleaning the yard, mowing the lawn, and everything like that. I hopefully will have that from them tomorrow. They said I should call before I come in to pick it up in case it's not ready. And that, as of Thursday, it will be 2 weeks since the judge said it's our property.
Or we could wait for the mail, and that, however long that takes, and we're not allowed to do anything until we get that paperwork, even though it's been posted on the door.
Yeah.
So we were able to board it up. The insurance company gave us money to board it up because they were telling us to hold off on boarding it to begin with. It's now at least boarded up to make it safe. But, you know, the yard's still a mess, and we hope to get that all cleaned up in the next week or so. But just want to let you know why it's sitting the way that it is.
Okay.
It's been to move somebody out once there is a problem, it's at between 2 and 3 months to get them out.
Wow, I never realized that.
Okay. So, I just wanted to, you know, with as much was on Facebook there, it seems, that I should come in and let you know what our dollars are doing in respects to the sheriff. That I don't mind the civil service when you're taking them to court to take time, but as soon as you get them in court, okay, which was the Wednesday before the fire, and the court mailed out the 16th,
Oh, yeah, yeah.
the Wednesday before the fire. And then they mail it out to the tenant because he didn't show up to court, because he knew he hadn't paid his rent and he needed to move.
Yeah.
And, we're assuming he received that on Friday, and, you know, Friday night at 9 o'clock, I got the call saying that the building was on fire. It's just, I guess, the importance of, if you have any clout with the sheriff's department, or you have any way to be able to say anything to them, that it would be nice if they could, when they get a writ of possession and somebody does win in court, that's when you're gonna have a problem with the tenant, because up until then, the tenant, if you screw up in court, the tenant could be there for a while. You know, it could take you another month or two to get them out.
Yeah.
In which case, they don't wanna harm the property, they don't wanna do anything bad at that point, but as soon as you win, that's when there's gonna be problems. And as we can see, there's a fire, and then this whole thing with what looks like drug paraphernalia in the shed out there. And I don't even have a right to clean it up, I don't have a right to lock the doors on it. I have to go to court to get those permissions, because it belongs to them. I can't go into your house, and it's no different. I can't, even if I saw something in your house like that. And what's miraculous, somebody around here has cleaned it all up. And it was not us. All the needles are gone, it's just a little pile of white powder, which, I'll say a good sized pile of white powder, which makes me believe that it's not drugs. Because what person doing drugs would leave that quantity of drugs? You know, that just doesn't make any sense.
Yeah.
So,
As I understand the rules, you can't, if they have any personal possessions back there, you can't just take them to the dump or something either, you have to.
Once you get a writ of possession, you can.
Oh, you can't.
Because of writ of possessions, the sheriff has let them know, they give them 48 hours to get their possessions out. It's the one time that I don't have to hold on to possessions for 45 days. I've got a barn full of possessions from tenants that people have left behind. You know, we tell them, we don't want that, you know, I'll work with Cory at this point. If Cory wants anything out of that house, as long as I'm present, I'll let him in and get the stuff out, I don't care.
Right.
You know, it's, so that's all I came to tell you is what the process was, and that it seems to be a slow process when it comes to the civil service side, and I don't know if the town can say anything to that portion of the sheriff's department where we pay taxes in here, and part of our taxes does go towards the sheriff's department, to say at least when there's a writ of possession, can't you make those priorities?
Yeah.
Because it seems silly to be 2 weeks later before you can do anything with it.
Okay. Robin, you wanna drop them an email, the sheriff's department, see if they can get on it?
I am assuming ours, from the sounds of them, that we will have our paperwork tomorrow.
Okay.
So this is for future things, so that if things happen in the town, you wanna be able to deal with them in a timely manner.
Right. Right. Wow. I mean, never become a landlord. Is it worth it?
It is worth it. It is worth it, you know.
We've been doing this since 1999. This is the first
Your problem, yeah.
really big episode to have a fire.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
And we don't even know, we don't really think that Cory even did it. And I know people are saying, why are you defending him? It's just because we showed him respect. He always showed us respect, even with his mental decline. We always had that respect from him.
Really, yeah.
And it just could be friends, it could be, or
Yeah.
group of people, we don't know.
There's lots of scenarios out there that the state fire marshal's office is working with, because we have people offering to all of a sudden buy the property who wanna make it into a parking lot. Okay? You know, and asking if they'll give them a cheap price now that it's burned, because we have no value in the building. Okay? You know, we know Cory had his issues. Did he owe other people money? You know, his working tools as a carpenter were in the house and caught fire. His cell phone was in the house and was in the fire. All of his clothes were still in the house in the fire. Most people that set fires, having been on a fire department myself and been a lieutenant on a fire department, they take stuff, especially a cell phone.
Right.
You don't leave your cell phone behind when you set your house on fire. You know, it's just not one of those things that happen.
They don't clean the fridge and put all the stuff in the bathroom, like they washed all the stuff in the tub, and
So
then
he was-
it's still in the bathroom.
He was planning on moving out, and he was trying to clean the house up for it,
Oh, yeah.
which doesn't make a total sense but that's the state fire marshal's office is working diligently to try and figure out who set the fire.
Oh, yeah. Good.
Well, I appreciate, coming and tell us what the situation
Yeah.
was and, what it is.
Well, as a taxpayer, and you know, I live in the town of Standish, so I'm not a resident here, but I know what an eyesore that property is right now, and and has been over the last, especially the last couple of years, it's gotten real bad with him. And I wanted to let you know that I've been trying to work with him to get it straightened out. I've given notices to mow lawn, he mowed lawn, so it sort of puts you, the court requires me to give him 7 days for anything it says in the lease. So if I go over there and tell him, hey, I'm gonna have to throw you out if you don't clean this up in 7 days, and he cleans it all up, then I'm back to start again. It's not, it's not that you can just throw somebody out. There's laws to protect tenants, which are good to have.
Right.
Because there are some bad landlords out there that would do whatever they could.
Yeah.
And we try to be good, and that's why we want to come here, because, we respect that you own a piece of property in this town, and that residents can have an issue with the way it looks there.
Yep.
So what I can tell you is over the next 2 weeks, you should see a big difference on the yard level of it. The house is gonna be all up to insurance.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it is all boarded up and safe that way, so people can't get into it at this point.
Good. Good. All right. Anything else?
Nope.
together. Any questions?
Great news that you're, consulting the lawyers. Should there be burnouts or motocross activity, I guess we'll continue to send emails letting the town know that it's still going on. We'll probably still call the sheriff's department, but honestly, I had a long conversation with, one of the deputy sergeants, and first he started telling me that they've gone by there and there's no noise. They've gone in and there's no noise. There's no evidence of disorderly, or disruptive,
While the event was going on?
activity. So, we talked. So it came out, so this was the day, Don, that you went in with sheriff. So I asked him, well, what time did you go in? And he said, well, I don't know. And I said, well, approximately what time? And he said, well, what time did it start? Because he was surprised that it had started. And I said, well, it doesn't start until 10, gets going around 11. And he said, oh, no, it was around 9. And I said, well, then how can you say there's no disruptive or disorderly, activity going on if you went there before it started? And so he said, well, we've gone in there before. And then he kind of blurted out, well, we maybe went in before or after it, was over. So it doesn't sound like they've ever really gone in to see it. I don't know that for sure. It was one sheriff deputy sergeant that I talked to. But I was kind of surprised about that. And I mean, I was polite, I said, well, all due respect, if you don't go in during the event, then you can't really make a judgment like that.
Right.
So we'll continue to call, but I don't really have a lot of confidence that they'll do anything. I did leave it with him. He said at one point, when we parked it out in front of his property, he never heard anything. And again, I mean, was there a rally going on? Was there, motocross racing going on? So I did tell him that if there was another burnout, and we heard the noise, if I called and asked for a deputy to come see me on my property, would he send somebody out? And he said yes. So if we have another loud one, I would suggest trying to get them out to our property, because then they can hear what we hear.
Bring them right on.
I had a conversation with one of the sheriffs as well, and he told me, and on no uncertain terms, that they didn't enforce town ordinances, only state laws.
Right.
He did tell me that.
If you have a contract with the sheriff's department, because you don't have a police force, they're supposed to enforce it.
We have
according to state law.
Okay.
On a comment, it's the same with the sheriff's department. That picture that was on Facebook was taken by a sheriff. It doesn't matter, it's still the sheriff's department. There was 3 sheriffs there because the doors were all kicked in one day. And they looked at it, they didn't even go in the building. They stood out there because I didn't know who could have been in the building. They didn't want to enter the building. But they went by the shed and they saw all the stuff that was on the shed and said, yeah, so.
Told us,
So.
that's in there, go
Yeah.
deal with it.
He did say 17 towns have different ordinances. They can't keep track of all of it. But when I pushed him a little bit, it really didn't sound like they've ever really checked it out. I mean, and this was just one person. But,
Every time we talk to a sheriff, it's always a different deputy, and we always get a different answer.
Right.
So,
we
what
need
I'd
Kevin.
like to see is have
Yeah, Kevin
Kevin
himself,
come to one of our meetings here and explain to us what we can and can't do. If we call them, who do we talk to? Who will come out?
Yeah.
We need to find that out from Kevin.
Have you sent an email directly to Kevin Joyce?
I've sent emails, I don't know where they go.
I would send it directly to Kevin Joyce's email.
Where do I get it? It's right online, that's where I found it, and that's what I did, because I was having issues with them doing burnout near my house, and it's like, I would send them, you know, every day, it seemed like, and finally, they must have gotten sick of it, because they sent somebody down, and the young kid came, and I thought he was like 13 years old, and, he, you know, he gave me his card with his direct line and said, I know, you know, I can't be here when it's happening, but I've taken pictures, you know, and everything, and sent it right in, and I said, you need to stop this before somebody gets killed, because, I mean, in some instances, they came close to hitting a telephone pole, and then in another instance, they came close to going over I have like a rock wall, going over the rock wall, you know, so it's like, our fire department does not need to pick somebody out of the bushes.
So, if we call, I mean, I agree with what you're saying, Pat, you know, if we could talk to that guy. But, if we call the sheriff's office and ask for the reports to be sent, they tell us that the town has to request them. So are you getting those reports?
That's why I'm gonna be dealing with the attorney hopefully this week.
Okay, because, I mean, you know, we can ask them to make sure that the report finds its way back to the town, but we've been told the town has to request it.
Right.
You can ask for it, I've asked for it via email, not particularly on that site, but other ones, and got a report very quickly. Just tell them the days, what I'm looking for, and they'll send it to me as a selectman.
Okay, all right. So, because, I mean, I think what we want to do is make sure that we've got reports coming from as many different sources, should there be activity there.
Yeah.
Okay, and then I think the last thing that I have, and maybe others want to, is the big boom, the explosion. Is there any additional information coming from any authorities?
I haven't had anything.
I've got a couple different rumors of where it came from. I'm not even gonna call out the two that I heard because they're just two totally different.
Yeah, I mean,
Seemed to me like somebody was messing with, a few extra pounds of tannerite than they were supposed to be messing with, and, yeah.
that's one rumor.
Yeah, who that was, I don't know. I did hear it came from the pit at one point, one of the pipes pit, over there on Carbon Hill, and then, you know, everybody wants to, you know, you can assume it came from out there, I don't know.
I don't have proof of that either. I can tell you that it most definitely came from that direction, and when you consider between, Woods Mill, Road and, Sebago Road, there's only that one building.
Right.
And only that one person that has that land. So, I don't know, but I mean,
Well, I know when
it was heard of from 5 different counties, 2 different,
towns, yeah.
towns.
I know when it first came in on the fire radio, it came in at, on Cram Road. Yeah, it's in Cram Road, and, you know, my wife rode down, and there was nothing there. So, it sounded like from me, it was next door neighbors. But,
Yeah.
You know, so it was hard to determine what direction it came from mine.
Yeah, and from where my place is, it came from that end of the pond.
Yeah.
So down there, and then, yeah, you know, if you read the community pages, I mean, people that live adjacent were saying that, there was gunshots coming all day long from that area and stuff, so, but again,
Yeah, at my house, it was strong enough that it knocked the painting off the wall of the house.
Really?
It almost took me over standing up.
Really?
It was a wicked earthquake.
And we're right opposite that property through the woods.
Yep. My wife was eating her supper, and she didn't lose her supper, but.
So he has 100 acres. How could they just drive in to his first place, look, and leave? I mean.
The sheriff said they're investigating. I called them Monday morning for follow-up, because nobody had called back
Right,
about it.
they're still investigating.
They're still investigating.
Okay. I know when I drove down by there was like 4 cruisers down the end of his driveway. And the fire department was staging on the Sam Pond Road, so.
I mean, the size of that blast, there ought to be evidence somewhere of where it went out.
You would think so,
Trees
yeah.
knocked down or something.
Yeah, right.
But then again, even if they go in and there's evidence, it was my understanding that there's nothing illegal about using Tannerite.
Well, there is restrictions and licenses required for once it's mixed.
Yeah, it's fall under explosives.
All right, and then again, the other thing would be, I would be surprised if Mr. Bennett was allowed to have firearms. Maybe his son is, or friends coming on the
He's not,
property.
yeah, I don't believe he's supposed to have firearms in his possession.
He's not supposed to.
Right.
Well, the shooting wasn't just a target shooting, it was like an AK rifle, honestly. I have never heard that kind of shooting. And the shooting went off right before the blast.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
It was, I heard a series about 10 minutes before, and the racing was sporadic that night from like 4 on. It wasn't all day, I didn't think that day. But anyways, we were thankful, but it was definitely a shooting before the blast.
And it stopped that.
Yeah, it was immediately before the blast, and then quiet after that.
So, I mean,
Yeah,
all this evidence goes
yeah.
to them. How can we avoid this happening again?
Hopefully, the legal counsel will stop her from doing any activity, I don't know. We'll have to wait and see how this plays out.
I mean, the guy just keeps getting away with whatever the heck he wants to do, which is, so did you go to the place a week ago Saturday when there was loud noise?
Yes, I did.
And it stopped for a few hours, what was your experience?
Well, there's a lot of activity there that they haven't got a conditional use permit for. So it's the noise is one issue, but they're selling tickets for admission, tickets to participate, they got food services in there. And the title is very clear to me that, because I tried to get him to come in and talk. Not gonna do that, he has a constitutional right, so he says, to do whatever he wants on his property, and no matter what we do, he's gonna continue. What we're gonna try to do is get a court order that will shut him down. He was over in Gorham before, and most likely, he'll end up going to some other town after ours, which is unfortunate. But you can't work with somebody if they won't come in and have a conversation.
Did the sheriff go with you, or
He
was
went
the
in
sheriff
with me.
there?
I called them for backup. And he's not wrong on that. If you send him something in the mail, it doesn't count as being served, so you have to send it registered mail. But unless he signs for it, it's like he never got it. So I said to the sheriff, I really need to get this done. He said, do you have another copy of it? And I said, yes, I do. Can we go serve it on him? Well, Mr. Bennett wasn't aware that I had another copy, and he did just that. He was very agitated, because he's beneficially served, so that makes it easier to take action. It's not easy to get some of this stuff done, as he found out with his house on fire.
Yeah, well, thank you for going in.
We're gonna keep on top of it, and hopefully, what I would like to do is if we could get a court order that shut him down until it goes through the legal process. That might give you a few weeks, this fall, without having a noise there.
Is
We're gonna
that
take it
moving?
to go
Are
through
you
the
guys
court.
doing legal
Well,
counsel?
that's what they just
They
approved.
voted
Right,
to
okay.
do that, so we're gonna be started right in on that. But don't expect it to be overnight, those things take time.
Right.
And if you, send me any information, just keep sending me, it's fine.
Okay,
I'll just add it to the very large file.
yes.
Right, and my other problem for ATVs, I called and they said that they would have a sheriff come down, patrol the road, but the selectmen have to take the signs down. They cannot touch them and neither can I.
I'll grab them on my way home. If they're posted illegally, then,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, I've looked for the Sam Pond
Okay,
I'm a member of the Saco River Riders ATV Club.
Oh, really?
So after that last meeting where the topic came up, I posted on their website that people have been complaining to the select board about fast ATVs on San Juan Road. And got all kinds of great responses from the club members that, yeah, everybody needs to be respectful, drive slowly, but some of the posts were, yeah, one day there was these 3 teenagers that were like 18, 19 years old racing up the road. They caught up with them on the trail and said, look, you're gonna ruin this for everybody if you don't get control of your driving. And they basically swore at them and blew it off.
Oh, yeah.
So you got, you know, the same old case of a couple bad apples and ruin it for everybody.
Legally, we've never approved any roads to be trails, so legally, they're not supposed to be on the roads anyway.
Can you ride an ATV on a road in Dublin?
300 feet.
Yeah.
300
Or
feet.
300 feet?
Yeah, they go from like trail to trail.
Right, well, that's
Or
kind
go
of what
around
it
if
is.
there's a bridge
No.
and.
Yeah, it's more than that to get.
Well, it's more than 300 feet, but that is connecting
Oh,
all the
yeah.
trails.
Oh, yeah.
And they said they will ruin and do 12 miles of trail if they don't have the connection.
Yeah, 'cause that trail that's at the top of the rough part of San Juan.
Yeah, yeah.
That goes off to the right, that's another 12 miles of trail that people get to by going over there.
So it is a really important connection, so if there's a way that we can make sure that we get the bad apples, which we
Well,
but,
well,
you know,
they approached us, was it last spring?
Seems like about 6 months ago, 5, 6 months ago, yeah.
About voting to open that road up for, that road and, well, I think it's mainly that road for now, but they got it to Carbonell Road and Brown Road, but they've knocked it, and we said we'll put it on hold to have a public hearing on it, but I don't think we need a public hearing, I think we know the answer to that. My mind's, I'm concerned about not voting to, you know, open it up, so they've always been, I don't know if they, he said if they got a verbal okay from previous selectmen, I don't know. It's
Oh,
not-
I never heard that.
No, so it's never been
But
written.
the problem is, the beach is there, and they're driving fast by there. And
Right.
We put up the fence so that kids can't get hurt,
Right,
but they're not behind the fence all the time.
right, yeah.
Seems like Cumberland County just giving you guys answers just to get you
Well,
off
that's
the
why I
phone, you
wanted
know.
Kevin Joyce to.
I mean, look at this scenario, okay, they
Yes.
put a sign there, but the selectmen have to take it down. What if I wanted to go take a sign, put it on the end of Carbonell Road and say it's a legal ATV trail?
Mhm.
So somebody has to call the selectmen to come remove that before the sheriff can do anything?
Yeah.
It doesn't make any sense to me, you know?
Well, I selfishly wanna be able to ride around the pond, first time I have access to ATV trails. So personally, can I please ride around the pond
I'm not gonna give you permission, it's all right, you got your own now.
Like a little kid?
You gotta go to the part of it that doesn't go on the San Juan Road.
No, you can't get through there.
You have to go out and back.
Whatever, anyway.
Yeah, I know, they've come up by my house, you go up the end of San Juan and take a right on Wentworth Road, and go right by my house, but usually they go by and they're just puttering along, they're not, you know, but you get some bad apples that wanna mess around, and you got one kid that's on a green dirt bike, and he's flying, you see him, Bill, and he's flying right by.
They usually, there's 2 of them that they come down from, like, Sebago. And then one goes up Merch Road and one goes up Woodland Hill Road.
Yeah. Okay. Anything else with you folks?
I'm good.
You're good?
Thank you.
And you guys are
We're good.
Frosty Road,
Yeah.
any more comments on that,
No, we're just waiting to see,
Okay.
you know, what can be done, if anything, or what the town thinks should be done.
okay, we'll get legal advice on that? and-
Yep, and I know that takes time.
We were told that there wouldn't be any more permits given out the last, CEO. But it seems like every time there's a CEO that comes aboard, they just go ahead and do it. Don claims he won't do it, but what's gonna happen when he leaves?
It should be all be the same, it should be, I mean.
It should be.
I know, I don't know how
And,
you get to begin with.
and I know it's a thorn in you guys' side, and it's a thorn in ours, and us neighbors that are on there now, we have no problems, we're working through it, and we can get up and down. But as you add more, you're adding more traffic, more
Right.
visitors, more everything, and so it is going to be a problem.
Yeah, right, you
So
can't,
we're here for that.
right,
And we know the history of the road, we've been through it all.
right,
And from the original information, the Wiggins Road, whatever it was supposed to be, Williams Road, discontinuance, we got documentation on that, accepted all of that, and then, 2005, they opted to abandon it or whatever you did because there was no, again,
right,
just so that you can clarify the legal status, which was fine, but now here we are, so.
Right.
And we don't wanna be here either, we don't, I'm not doing it.
Needless to say, Don, you can't go nowhere.
Then, you know what I mean? I know you have enough issues going on, so.
Yeah,
I don't
we
want
were
to be
just
part of it if we can
here
help
to see
it,
if anything come up about it.
okay.
so, that's all.
Yeah, appreciate it. Thank you very much.
Well, I just would comment that it is pretty clear in the ordinance what the regulations are
Right.
for a situation like that. And regardless of who's sitting in the chair, it ought to be enforced universally. I have no idea why he did or didn't do so. I just.
Right, I don't know if he didn't do his research properly and then
It's gotta be something.
found out that,
I don't know.
right,
I don't
that
know.
it's not a town road, I know there's a lot of roads in this town where they shouldn't be a town road, they're actually a long driveway, but they're a town road, so, right,
It's sort of like mine is.
yeah. Bruce, you got anything?
Yep.
Yeah?
I do have, the Calvin Road, they graded it, great job. They didn't do the spur road.
Okay.
It's
Yeah,
like,
they just did one,
you know,
okay, all right. Well,
I mean, there's a lot of big rocks that they pulled up, but, sitting around, but it's a lot less bumpier than it was.
Yeah, so you come around towards your house and,
Yeah.
yeah, that
I
was,
did the old
Right.
Calvin Road.
Right. okay. I'll let him know, if it comes back.
It was just like, what?
Chad, you got anything?
No, I'm all set.
Yeah,
I got one more thing, and I know you don't wanna hear it, but the splash truck was there again today, and he's there every day, if not twice a day. And I'd like to see an ordinance started against it.
okay, all right.
I know you don't want it, but draining our pond,
Yeah, this time of year, it's getting
you can
rough.
look around and see how much
Right.
it's gone down.
Right, I mean, yeah, because we don't have any rain,
Right.
right?
Is there a recorded high water mark on that point, on that pond, does anybody monitor that at all?
I don't know, I haven't even heard if we've had it tested this year.
It has been tested,
It has?
yes.
Okay.
It's, I mean, there's an outlet, so water does flow out of the outlet.
Under a bridge, it's getting pretty low.
And it's a natural outlet, so as long as nobody is tampering with it, there's no dam anymore. Yeah. But, everything, just, it flows out to a certain, and then it maintains, particularly if you have rain and it's spring fed and everything, but, I mean, we have had some good rainfall in the last week or two, and it's beginning to recede, thank you, that's what I was thinking.
Is the water truck concerned noise, or is it that the water is
Taking the
here?
water.
Well, do we know how many gallons one of those things is? It's probably not more than 1,000 gallons, right?
Those
It's a big tank truck.
He did his math, his engineering for a 500-gallon truck, and it wasn't good news to me, but it was,
No, it wasn't much,
it was good news.
much of a level drop. I mean, I think it's a 55-acre pond, right? So,
I like the, yeah.
51.
51, so it takes an awful lot of water to move that a quarter of an inch. So I'd be surprised if it's a drainage issue for the water, but I could understand maybe the noise is bothering when you're so close to it.
No, it's no different than any of the ATVs and stuff flying down by.
Quiet
Matter of fact,
fireman pad?
Matter of fact, yeah, the tank truck's more quiet.
Relatively.
Yeah, I think we find that it's taking an awful lot of truckloads to make it that in the pond level.
Well, Casper
think you're
stopped
right,
it
yeah.
for some reason, so.
was successful doing that.
Yeah.
All right, Robbie, you got anything? You got anything?
Almost, but we've got the attorney coming on here in
Yeah.
a minute.
You got anything? Nope. You got anything? All right, executive session, I'm going to start over in executive session pursuant of blank MRSA, section 405, E, consult with legal counsel. Yeah, thank you guys for coming.
Thank you.